listening to the Full Court Press with your host, Drew Duncan. Don't you dare touch that dial. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Full Court Press. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Don't forget Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Additionally, you can tell Alexa to play the Full Court Press by Drew Duncan on Spreaker Radio. Boy, Josh McDaniels is blowing up the internet as we speak right now. This dude, yep, I'm going to take the job in Indianapolis. They've got a press conference all ready to go. And just kidding, guys. I'm just playing. Not really. It wasn't quite to that degree. But obviously there are a lot of unanswered questions that are going on here. And kind of to my last point about LeBron James and, you know, what I was just talking about with that whole situation, the thing that I think that we need to look at is whether or not the New England Patriots, whether it's Bill Belichick or Josh McDaniels or anybody, are ever going to talk about what happened when Josh McDaniels walked into that Patriots facility and decided, nope. I mean, whatever happened was obviously life-changing. McDaniels made a choice, you know, and now the rumors are starting to circulate, right? Here we go. We're all trying to figure it out. You know, we're trying to ask the questions. What's going on? Does this guy know? Does that guy know? Sources say this. People tell me that. You know, the only people that I really want to hear it from are McDaniels, Belichick, the Indianapolis-Colts organization. Those are the people that I'm looking to. And even then, I don't think I want to hear it from the Colts, because the Colts are going to give you their version of what happened, and it's still going to be a lot of he said, she said, and eventually we're just going to run into this whole thing, and everybody's going to try and dissect it 6 ways from Saturday, and we're going to eventually come up with the truth will lie somewhere in the middle. And that's usually how it goes. This person said this person said that, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. And I think that right now, the bottom line is the Indianapolis Colts are going to try and figure out who their next head coach could be. And the New England Patriots obviously still have their guy who, you know, helped Tom Brady get over 500 yards passing in the Super Bowl. Obviously, pretty good play calling for the majority of that football game, I think, anyways. The numbers were there in terms of yards. They just couldn't add up the points. The Eagles pretty good inside the red zone in a couple of different drives. The Patriots with their backs against the wall for the majority of that football game, you know, starting from deep in their own territory, figuring out ways to at least get themselves in field goal position. The bottom line scenario here is this. McDaniels is not going anywhere, and at least for the time being, he is staying with the New England Patriots. And the Patriots now, all they have to do is figure out who they're going to have as a defensive coordinator, who's going to succeed Patricia. And then from there, they need to figure out what's going to happen for life after Belichick whenever he decides to go. And people have been trying to figure out when that's going to happen. And I keep telling people that he's not going to leave until Tom Brady does. And that'll be the day that Belichick leaves. Some people will conclude that this is a time when we knew it. Belichick is gone and is going to go to the Giants. I don't foresee it, but I could be wrong. I think that the ultimate deciding factor is going to be Tom Brady when it comes to Coach Belichick. I think that what's going on here is, if anything, and this is something that people haven't, at least from what I've read, talked about, and that is the last time he was a head coach was in Denver. And when he was with the Denver Broncos, he was basically given by Pat Bowlen all the responsibilities that a Mike Shanahan had. And Mike Shanahan was a very, then considered to be young head football coach. By today's standards anyways, he wasn't very young by taking that position. And not only was he football coach, but he had all these other duties and titles. I mean, he was essentially given free reign. And that was the thing that people loved about Pat Bowlen, is he wasn't a micromanager. He wasn't a guy that stood over the top of you and made sure that you made these decisions. He allowed his coaches and players to be themselves, and he entrusted those people to do things. And he gave McDaniels that same opportunity. He struck gold one other time when he did it with Mike Shanahan and won a couple of Super Bowls and, went to the playoffs pretty consistently. And then, of course, we saw the fallout with that. He didn't intend to fire Mike Shanahan by his own words. It just kind of happened. He hires McDaniels and gives him the same responsibilities. And McDaniels tanks. So maybe McDaniels got a little bit of, what do you call that, cold feet, and decided, nope, I'm not stepping into that water. Not again. But again, who knows? It's all just rumor, right? I mean, when it comes to the New England Patriots, they are the most tight-knit group out there is. I mean, trying to get anything out of Bill Belichick is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, as the saying goes, right? I'm from the Midwest. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. It's basically impossible. If you ask Bill Belichick if Rob Gronkowski's going to play in the Super Bowl, hey, we're going to put in a report, da-da-da-da-da. There you go. There it is. In other words, you can read the report once it's officially filed. Until then, I'm not telling you nothing. And I think Josh McDaniels is going to probably play the same game. And I think he's not going to really tell anybody why he decided to stay in New England. And if he does, I can guarantee you it's going to be quick, to the point, deliberate, and that's all you're going to get. You can ask all the questions you want to, but we're all probably going to pretty much get some variation of the exact same answer that he already gave us before we try to put a microphone in his face and ask additional questions. And I don't really see anything wrong with that. The New England Patriots are very good, partially because they refuse to give anything away. They don't allow opponents to know anything about what's going on within their organization. And so because of that, it's difficult for anybody to get a bead on what a weakness is going to be when you get ready to play the Patriots, which is what it's supposed to be. As a journalist, I have tried to ask people that have come on my show some variation of what's your game plan going in, just to see if we can maybe get a little bit of insight. And what do? Hey, man, I'm not going to give that away to you. Or they give some, hey, we got to stop this, we got to do that. They just kind of give you the obvious. What's the obvious if you're playing the Patriots? You got to stop Tom Brady. Well, how do you stop Tom Brady? I'm not going to tell you how I think I'm going to do that, because then the Patriots are just going to counter it before I even get an opportunity to. And that goes with any team, any athlete. That's all there is to it. How do I plan to attack? I'm not going to tell you that, bro. Why did you stay in New England instead of taking a head coaching job? You must be next in line for Bill Belichick. Now there's even more rumors going on, right? And this is from Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Garoppolo got on there and said, well, his agent told him that, hey, doing this to the Colts is really bad for you. I probably wouldn't have done this. Well, that's a rumor. I haven't heard or seen anything where his agent said that. It could be out there, but I haven't seen it. That's a rumor. What is the only fact that we really know? The only fact that we really know is that Josh McDaniels is staying in New England. He's not going to Indianapolis, and the Colts are still looking for a head coach. That's it. Those are the facts, and that's all we're going to get out of these guys, and that's okay. Because to be honest with you, it makes great reporting, doesn't it? It makes our job a little bit funner. Because then it's like, Batman, right? I'm going to go and be the superhero, and I'm going to be the guy that gets it out of him, right? We're all trying to be the guy that gets it out of him. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to get to the source. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. It gives us something to do, especially during the football offseason. But about the only thing that is left right now to really talk about is the NFL draft, right? Because right now conversations are my way too early power rankings for next year. My way too early Super Bowl predictions for next year. You're damn right they're all way too early. Because this season hasn't even started yet. So don't tell me that the Eagles are going to be back and the Patriots are going to be back when the season has not even began. Because the Eagles are going to have a much tougher schedule because they're going to play a Super Bowl winner schedule going into this year. That's how that's going to work out, and so are the New England Patriots. All anybody can say is, well, the Patriots, dynasty is coming to an end. It's over in a year or two. Da-da-da-da-da. We don't know when it's going to end. It could end today, and how many of us saw it coming? It could end in 4 years from now, and how many of us legitimately saw it coming? It's going to end when it ends. That's when it will end. And not a moment sooner. See, the fact of the matter is the New England Patriots are so good at what they do that they're able to keep around an offensive coordinator who should be a head coach right now twice over, right? They pursued him with the 49ers. He turned down that gig. They pursued him in Indianapolis. He's officially turned down that gig. I mean, there was all kinds of talk about McDaniels potentially going to the Raiders. The real reality of it is McDaniels is where he is for a reason, and he's doing what I tell everybody that they should do, from LeBron James to Le'Veon Bell, and that is dictate their own career. We may not like it. We may not like their choices. We may think that he's running out. People are talking about Andrew Luck and his shoulder and everything else. But hey, McDaniels has got to do what he thinks is best for him and his family. And that's all there is to it. Whatever happened when McDaniels walked back into that facility, we will probably never know. And even if we do, we probably won't like the answer that we get. But the only answer that really matters to anybody else is the one within themselves and in their family. And believe me when I tell you that the Patriots are essentially a family. If you don't believe me, go ask Rodney Harrison. I mean, that dude is always talking about his time with the Patriots. And it's not just because he won Super Bowls. It's what they had together in that locker room, and the kind of coach that Bill Belichick is, and what he talks about with the unity and the kind of motivator that he is. He understands what his guys need to hear in order to get them to perform at the highest level. He knows exactly how to get in your head in order to get you to do things that you didn't think you were capable of doing. And Tom Brady is the quintessential leader that anybody would want on their football team. His longevity in this game, the way that people want to play for him, the respect that he has around the league, I can guarantee you it is the perfect situation. And why would McDaniels want to leave? You know, if anything, McDaniels, regardless of the reason why he ducked out, well, not ducked out, that's probably the wrong word there. Whatever reason he decided to not take the Colts job, you have to look at the overall situation that he's in. And not only is he under Bill Belichick, not only is he under, or have Tom Brady as his quarterback, I should say, but he's still got an opportunity to continue to learn, to continue to grow as a person, as a coach. The knowledge of the game is not solely predicated upon what you already know. It's what you're willing to relearn. And that's what makes any coach great, because there's a lot of coaches that refuse, right? They just refuse to change. Think about what happened in LSU. Les Miles, he didn't want to, quote, modernize the offense. Think about how many times I've said the problem with Denver Broncos coaches is that they refuse to modernize to the game of football the way it's played now. I really felt like they misused Trevor Siemian. I felt like Siemian could have been at least a good quarterback in this league had the Denver Broncos played in a system that I thought would have been productive or conducive to who he is. He's a pistol-heavy formation guy, double tight end sets, pistol train, using a big fullback or two big running backs with a tight end in there. And that's what makes McDaniels great. That's what makes him a great offensive coordinator, is because he himself understands the type of play calling that'll get the most out of the guys that are around him. Keep it open, keep it simple, whatever it is you've got to do, whatever it is that's working for you, whatever adjustment I need to make. And whatever happens with this, I know one thing is for certain, and that is Josh McDaniels, I personally believe at some point is going to be a great head coach in this league. I know that a lot of people believe the same thing about Charlie Weiss, and at the collegiate level, we never really saw how good he could ever really be. People talked about his best victory was, quote, a close loss against USC. At KU, he never really did anything there. He got fired, third game into the second season, if I remember correctly, on a Sunday afternoon, which almost never happens. I know we said that about Charlie Weiss, but I think McDaniels is different Because number one, he's got two things on his side. And those two things are, I think he's much more adaptable, even though Charlie Weiss said that he didn't want the type of quarterback that is a traditional drop back passer. He wants the guy who's athletic and mobile, that's the nowadays quarterback. But when I say adaptable, what I really mean by that is McDaniels, I think, could be a coach that would know how to use either type of quarterback. I don't think we ever really got to see what he could really do with a Tim Tebow. And to me, that's disappointing. But we did get to see what he can do with a Tom Brady, and we did get to see what he could do with other guys. And I think that Josh McDaniels is not only adaptable, but the other great thing about it is he's consistent. When have you ever seen a truly bad Josh McDaniels offense while he's been in New England? We saw hit and miss with Denver. And I think what he didn't learn was the balance between offense and defense, and I think that's something he's going to continue to grow in. And as long as he learns that balance, which is part of adaptation, then I think eventually Josh McDaniels will make a great head coach wherever he ends up at. But for the time being, the only answer that we need, whether we like it or not, is that McDaniels is staying in New England. And now we just need to figure out who the Indianapolis-Colts head coach is going to be. And more than we do, Indianapolis does, because, guys, it's already February. And believe me when I tell you, if they don't have somebody by March, it's going to be a real problem. This is the Full Court Press. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Don't forget to tell Alexa to play the Full Court Press by Drew Duncan on Spreaker Radio. You guys know, don't you dare touch that dial.